Well, good afternoon to you. Uganda are through to the Sekafa Under-18 Championship that is being hosted here in the country against Rwanda in a 1-0 victory. We do understand Kenya is set to face Tanzania this afternoon at exactly 2:30 p.m. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Abdiaziz. Hashim. My co-anchor this afternoon is Byron Abuli. We do have a lot in store for you this lovely afternoon in regards to also the floods update that is being witnessed in over 30 counties. Let's get to inform you. Do stick around for the next 1 hour or so. And we want to start on a tragic note where we do understand the search and rescue efforts for an elderly woman swept downstream after the boat she was traveling in capsized entered its second day. The woman is reported to be among 6 occupants who were riding on a boat along River Migori next to Matanda village in Nyatike ward when the boat overturned. Efforts to rescue her have been futile owing to the heavy rains. The other occupants of the boats, however, survived after swimming to safety. This comes as bodies of 4 individuals who drowned in a separate boat tragedy along Lake Victoria have been retrieved. One more person who was on the boat is yet to be traced as search efforts continue.
The family of the elderly woman who was swept downstream in River Migori are still clinging on to hope that she may be found alive more than 24 hours later. Search and rescue efforts have, however, been hampered owing to heavy rains, and the river is reported to have broken its banks, making everything difficult. Residents are decrying the lack of footbridges and pathways to cross the river, which they say is putting the locals at risk as they are forced to use boats to cross the river.
Ili waje pamoja wasirikiane ili watujenge footbridge yenye itaokoa watu wetu wenye wanatoka ngambo ile kukuja Matanda wapate nafuu.
Migori County Executive Committee member in charge of Environment, Disaster Management and Climate Change, Caleb Opondi, pledged to enhance the county's disaster response.
The mission of searching for the body is ongoing, and I want to promise that all would be done to ensure that the body is retrieved.
He at the same time cautioned the public against crossing the flooded rivers.
We are saying that let us be cautious so that we don't lose more lives.
11 people are reported to have died in boat-related accidents in the county or while crossing rivers, and 500 others displaced in Nyora and Kabuto villages owing to flooding. Parsai Frederick reporting for Lunchtime News.
Well, let's heed those warnings from the various agencies that are carrying out the rescue efforts. Let's steer clear of flooded areas. Now, elsewhere, residents of Dandora Phase 5 in Nairobi County have teamed up to start a community school in a bid to boost education among vulnerable children in the area. Started by the former area chief, Julia Kamwara, this school is set to open its doors to the needy children beginning January 2024. Here is Joseph Wahungu with more details on that story.
Pomp, color and jubilation rented the air during the inauguration of Giant Steps Community School located in Nairobi's Dandora Phase 5 area. The community school, which was started by the former area chief Julia Kamwara, is expected to benefit hundreds of children who would have otherwise wasted away in the densely populated informal settlement. According to Area Chief Zipora Kombo, the school will be key in addressing rampant crime in the area. She encouraged residents of Dandora to embrace education despite a myriad of challenges, including lack of proper infrastructure in schools in the area.
Changamoto ya wazazi kukosa fedha za kupeleka watoto shuleni, sana sana wanapoenda secondary school. Serikali wa inasaidia sana kuwapeleka kwa shule, lakini wote hawezi toshea public schools. Kwa hivyo ninajua itatusaidia kutatua shida za watoto kutoenda shule.
Former area chief Julia Kamwara says she decided to start the school in order to give hope to children who could not afford an education due to poverty. She also expressed hope that such initiatives will go a long way in curbing drug menace in Dandora and other slums in Nairobi.
This is not a public school. Tungepewa pesa na serikali, lakini hii ni community school. Sisi wote tushikane tuweze kusaidia. Na hii shule community members nimeona wameipokea vizuri.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Joseph Wahungu.
Elsewhere, the Youth Connekt Africa aims to create 10 million jobs for African youth by 2025. Head of Public Service Felix Koskei says the initiative, which was formally recognized by the African Union in 2019, gives the African youth an opportunity to monetize their talent. Now, Kenya will host this summit from the 8th to the 12th of this month that will culminate to the Jamhuri Day celebrations.
Father, we thank you for the tender care, loving and protection.
Over 20,000 delegates from across Africa, comprising of innovators, creative and leaders, are expected to converge in Nairobi for Youth Connekt Africa Summit that is slated for 8 this month. According to Head of Public Service Felix Koskei, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba, Youth Connekt Africa that was formally recognized by the African Union in 2019 aims to create 10 million jobs for the Africa's youth by 2025.
The Continental Initiative aims at empowering young people through promotion of entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership. Since its inception in 2017, the summit has become a flagship event for youth development in Africa, attracting young leaders, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and stakeholders from across the continent.
This is the first administration to consolidate all youth-centric activities together under the same roof, which has made it very easy for us, by the way, to focus attention on matters youth.
The summit, bringing together African heads of state and government, will culminate in Kenya's at 60 Jamhuri Day celebrations.
The government is presently focused on providing the enabling environment for the extraction of the potential of our young people in its entirety, whether in the field of creativity, innovation, passion, or talent, and using it to propel our nation to more prosperity.
We have already identified some incredible innovations, some of which you were picking up as late as yesterday. We'll be showcasing them, and we want to unleash them across the whole continent of Africa.
The duo insisting that President William Ruto's administration is committed to create opportunities for the millions of unemployed young people.
You have seen us sign some incredible deals with some incredible partners. We have a deal signed with the NBA, we have a deal signed with Invention Studios in LA, in Hollywood. They'll be shooting 15 movies next year here in Kenya.
Giverson Minor, Lunchtime News.
Now, Murang'a County will host the International Anti-Corruption Day celebrations that will be held on the 9th of December. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission officials have pitched camp in the county and are conducting a series of activities, among them public sensitization and stakeholder forums in dealing with corruption. EACC Preventive Service Director, that is Vincent Okongo, says that during the event, the Commission will report on the status of corruption in the country under this year's theme, Uniting Against Corruption.
We have carried out a corruption risk assessment that is going to help Murang'a County to know where the weaknesses, where the challenges are, and make recommendations on what they need to do to strengthen accountability, improve service delivery to the people of Murang'a County.
Nasi kama county tumejaribu kung'ang'ana na ufisadi kwa njia mbalimbali. La kwanza ni mfanyikazi yote ambaye atakuwa ameshtakiwa na mambo ya ufisadi, bila shaka tutachukua hatua.
Now from Murang'a, let's head over to the western part of the country where Busia County Woman Representative, that is Catherine Omanyo, has urged the community to involve girls in sporting activities as a part of addressing gender-based violence in the devolved unit. Now speaking during a soccer tournament finals, girls under the sponsorship of NGAF at the Malaba Stadium in Teso North constituency, Busia County Omanyo expressed intentions to establish a girls soccer team in the county to support girl child. She noted that girls have been left out in matters soccer and only men have been prioritized.
Other leagues out there beyond Kenya also. Changamoto ni siasa katikati ya mchezo. Sana sana mwanadada akiwa idol hana kazi, majeraha mengine yanakuja ambayo yajapangwa. So tunacheza boli kuzuia ball.
Tukicheza mpira tukikanyaga chini. Sasa hizi tukirudi huko nyumbani tunaenda ku train na boots, tuko na jezi, kila kitu tumepewa. Hadi skills wenyewe tumekopi hapa kwa wenzetu na tunaenda kuzitumia.
Elsewhere, a family from Munyama village in Lumakanda ward, Lugari sub-county, has suffered a double tragedy after two of their relatives passed away, with one dying after a tree fall on him. Now, according to Moses Mudambi, the brother of the deceased, they were in the process of preparing for the burial of their son, Edwin Mudambi, who passed away last week. During the preparations, David Swadi, his brother, offered a tree for a firewood. However, as they were cutting down the tree, it unexpectedly fell on Swadi, who died on the spot.
Nikuja nikapata mti imemwangukia. Nilishangaa sana. Na nikalia. Sababu mimi niko na matanga. Na ndugu yangu nilikuwa nafikiri tusaidiane naye kuhusu hiyo matanga. Labda tena matanga mengine yeye tena anakufa.
Ndio pikipiki ilikuja, wakaweka kwa pikipiki wakapeleka kwa hospitali. Kufika huko akasema kwamba alikuwa ameenda.
Tunaomba serikali tusaidie. Matanga mbili kwa boma. Hatuna pesa, hatuna venye tunajisaidia sisi wenyewe for sure. Tuko na mtoto inafaa join form 1. Hata mama yetu hata stress itaua tu. Naomba tu mtusaidie.
And now to the health sector, where Kilifi County is set to employ a solar-powered technology to its health facilities in a new strategy aimed at reducing maternal and child mortality rates in the region. Speaking during the exhibition of the technology at Ngogoni Hospital in Magarini constituency, Lema Power suppliers say the project has the potential to save lives at a low cost, especially within health centres that are not connected to electricity. Kilifi County has been listed as one of the counties with a high mortality rate due to lack of essential power supply.
Solution to the healthcare facilities, especially here in Kilifi County, where there has been high mortality rates. So we're looking forward to strategic partnership in order to bring constant, reliable and powerful technology in the healthcare facilities.
Wako na vifaa kama hivi kwa hii county vitaleta mabadiliko makubwa sana, kwa sababu hatutokuwa na haja ya kusubiri mpaka nguvu za umeme ama Kenya Power iweze kupeleka stima katika sehemu za mashinani.
Rudisha mbele kiasi.
And now to the education sector, where Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET has joined other teachers' union in petitioning the government to employ contractual junior secondary school teachers on permanent basis. Narok KUPPET branch officials led by Secretary General Charles Ngeno decried that failure by the government to confirm the intern teachers will adversely compromise the quality of education of the KBC learners.
Nataka kuhimiza serikali ya Kenya Kwanza iweze kuconfirm hawa JSS, kwa sababu morale yao iko chini sana.
There are teachers who have not received their stipend for the last 5 months. And there's another cohort who have only been paid 1 month, and the other months they are not being paid. And we want to urge the government to release those funds so that the teachers will be paid.
Narok here, we only have one small hospital where the services are down to, they cannot meet the standards of the health that the teachers require. So we are asking the government to remove the teachers from this AON Minet, which has eaten our money for 5 years. They want to renew the contract in December. We don't want that contract to be renewed.
JSS interns power. Power.
Now, a status update of the current flood situation in over 30 counties where Isiolo residents are calling on state and non-state actors to increase food intervention measures for those affected by floods in the county. This comes as reports of disease outbreaks begin to be recorded in areas of Ngaremara and Burat in Isiolo County. In Tana River, Governor Dadu Godana is calling for partnership to enable implementation of a 3.5 billion cluster program aimed at providing a lasting solution to the ongoing flood situation in the county.
More than 18,000 residents of Isiolo County affected by floods are appealing for more interventions from government and other non-governmental organizations to cushion them against the ongoing floods that continue to wreak havoc across the country.
In the county, we have around 6 cases, and 6 cases of death is not a simple thing.
Hofu ya usiku ni kwamba inaweza kuwa nyesha mvua na hizo maji kuja kupata ndani ya nyumba. Haujakuwa tayari, utashtukia tu nimekufikia kwa kitanda.
Wale walioathirika ni wengi zaidi. Kama hata nikipeana tu mfano, hatujaweza kufika kwa shule siku ya leo. Kuna wale walikuwa wameathirika pale Ngaremara zaidi.
Watupatie msaada, serikali yetu kuu na serikali ya county. Watupatie msaada ambayo inayohitajika, hata mambo ya afya.
Residents from the most affected wards, which include Ngaremara, Burat and Kina, say the situation is dire as they appeal for food and non-food items and tents as their homes have been marooned by floods.
Mimi naosha sahi watoto natandika, lakini mvua akinyesha anatoka. Hata sahi nikipita taona watoto tu anawaika, lakini mvua akinyesha anatoka. Hata ile mwisho anakula miti. Sasa mvua kukuja ataenda na nyumba.
Maji mto inafunjika, inakuja inatufikia ndani ya manyumba. Inabidi kwa hiyo usiku tunatoroka kwenye manyumba, tunaenda kando pale maji hajaweza kufikia.
Cases of disease outbreaks have also been reported in Ngaremara and Burat areas, with residents complaining of diarrhea and stomachaches.
Labda ambaye maji chafu na inaleta hata ndani ya nyumba. Kwa hivyo watu wamepata hata magonjwa mengine, wameanza hata kuendesha. Watu wengine pia wameanza kupata malaria kwa sababu ya mbu.
The same situation is replicated in Tana River County, with the Governor Dadu Godana calling for more permanent solution against flooding in Tana River.
Part of the challenge you have seen is the collapse of dams, because dams are breaking down because water is too much and because the designs did not accommodate outlets.
Floods ni hapa Tana River kama vile mheshimiwa alivyosema. Tuko na floods ya kutoka kwa mto, kuna flash floods kutoka Ukawakambani pia zinafyeka watu. Kwa hivyo shida yote iko Tana River na tunataka serikali imulike Tana River.
Rais aagize serikali yake wa through Red Cross sahi, hiyo pesa itumwe na watu waanze kujengewa manyumba.
Vyakula ambavyo wamepanda, ambavyo wangevuna mahindi, wangevuna aina nyingi sana vyakula, vimeweza kuenda na maji.
Godana is now seeking for partnerships to implement a 3.5 billion cluster project that will give a lasting solution to the residents.
I wish these programs could have taken shape faster before the El Nino. We were targeting the December, these rains, but unfortunately it came earlier before we could finish.
Floods ni hapa Tana River kama vile mheshimiwa alivyosema. Tuko na floods ya kutoka kwa mto, kuna flash floods kutoka Ukawakambani pia zinafyeka watu. Kwa hivyo shida yote iko Tana River na tunataka serikali imulike Tana River.
Serafina Nairobi for Lunchtime News.
And away from the floods update, let's head over to Mount Kenya region, where a section of young women in Gatundu North, Kiambu County, have committed to join the fight against illicit brew in the region. The women, most of whom were forced to leave their matrimonial homes following frustrations from their husbands who are addicted to alcohol, say they are willing to take all measures necessary to ensure the menace is eradicated.
The young women from Kairi village in Gatundu North have opted to embrace sports following the reeling effects of illicit brew in the area, whose impact has had far-reaching effects, especially on families.
Wanaume wako, lakini wengi wao wamepotelea kwa pombe. So that's why tume create hii group. Tuko singles juu wanaume wengi hawataki kuchukua hiyo responsibility. Wengi wako kwa pombe, wengine hawana pesa, wakipata 20 bob ni ya kulewa. So ndio maana tuko singles.
With the sports, they hope to woo the sober ones who can identify and sharpen their skills and talents.
Ukiwa kwa uwanja utakuwa unafanya practice, so mind zako mingi zitakuwa kwa uwanja, hazitakuwa kwa pombe.
Through sports, they are also sensitizing locals on the dangers of alcoholism.
Linatutia wasiwasi juu watu wengi ni single hapa na wengi wao ni wale wamekodisha nyumba, si eti wanaishi na wazazi wao juu bado ukirudi huko nyumbani unapata pia wewe umelelewa na mzazi mmoja, una baba aliondokea akaenda kwa pombe. Sasa hiyo kitu inatutia wasiwasi sana.
We are so happy for the supporters wenye wa diaspora wenye wamekuwa kutusupport. Leo wametubaia uniform, support na maji, glucose.
The anti-illicit brew ambassadors turned sportswomen are now calling on the government to sustain the war against the killer drinks, which have not only resulted in deaths in the village, but have also left many young men struggling with alcohol-related ailments.
Elsewhere, a local high school teacher in Kuria East Sub-County, Migori County, is making a significant impact on the lives of the less privileged, that is Cosmas Murimi. Inspired by his own childhood experiences, has taken the initiative to build houses for those in need. Murimi, who once lived in a grass-thatched house as a child, understands the hardship faced by the less fortunate. Now a high school teacher, he is dedicated to providing decent homes for families struggling with housing. Jomas Moivera, a beneficiary of Murimi's project, expressed gratitude for the newfound hope and dignity of his family.
Nikakuja krosi nyumba vile ilikuwa inakaa, haikunipendeza. Nikaona nyumba kama hii na ni watu wanaishi ndani, si vizuri. So ikani trigger kwa moyo kwamba I can do something.
Kachimbo kweli ilikuwa kachimbwa. Baada ya msimu kwa miti kawekwa, nyumba ikatandikwa chuo.
Natamani hata mimi naweza nichange kama wengine. Unajua afadhali atulale njaa, lakini uko na sehemu nzuri unalala, una stress unyesewi. Nimekaa nimeona vizuri, amekuja amenipigilia mapati, nashukuru Mungu na nasema ni asante.
Mimi nilikuwa naomba kwamba kama kuna mtu mwenye ako na moyo wa kusaidia, aungane na rafiki yangu, tusaidie wengine wenye wako tena chini kimaisha.
Nataka kusaidia wengine wenye wako na shida kama hizi, na nitakuwa nasaidia kulingana na uwezo wangu. But I usually approach well wishers wenye wakiona nimeweka, maybe nimeshare photos ya nyumba kama hizi, wanakuja inbox, project iko wapi, wanasaidia moja mbili, na ninawashukuru sana.
Stakeholders in the investment and construction sector are calling on Kenyans to be vigilant when purchasing land to avoid being duped into buying land through an illegal process. Speaking in Syokimau, Machakos County, officials from property firms said the recent demolition of the controversial Portland cement in Athi River left thousands of Kenyans at a loss after their houses were demolished. He cautioned against shortcuts while purchasing property.
Before you purchase any land, it is good to purchase to do the due diligence. And the first due diligence that you do is to know the history of the land. Know the land that you are buying, who was the owner, where did it came from.
Risk at the presence of people who are not properly registered or properly or genuine in real estate. And that is why we have formed the Association of Real Estate Stakeholders to be able to do self-regulation within the industry.
Now, a section of religious leaders in Lamu County now want their fellow leaders to refrain from using misguided teachings for their followers to restore peace and harmony in the society. Speaking during a forum to discuss the role of religious leaders in improving the security of the country, they noted the religious leaders have a great role to play in curbing atrocities in the society. They stressed that there is need for religious leaders in the country to teach the importance of interreligious cohesion as an effective tool to fight against terrorism in the country.
Tumeangalia dhana ambazo zinaharibu dini zetu. Tumejaribu kuangalia pia suluhisho zinaweza kupatikana wapi. Na hayo yote tumeyafikia kwamba lazima tushirikiane katika nyanja tofauti tofauti wakati ambapo tuko na mikutano, tunahusiana sote.
Neno watu wote ni kwamba iwe ni Muislamu, Mkristo, ni sehemu yako, inafaa utafute amani kuwa na yeye. Na lazima ufundishe pia jamii yako waishi na amani na watu wote. Pia bila tuambia mpende jirani yako kama nafsi yako.
Yaani mafundisho haya mafundisho kuelekeza watu kuishi pamoja katika hali tofauti tofauti. Wasiweke mipaka. Kusiwe na mipaka. Kwamba mimi mpenda mpaka hapa siwezi tena kwenda upande wa. Lazima kuwe ile na maingiliano. Watu waingiliane waweze kuwa watashiriki pamoja.
"25 minutes past the hour, that marks the end of our first segment here on KBC's Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. I need to inform you where you need to be from the 12th all the way to the 17th of this month after this short commercial break.
This Wednesday at 7 a.m. on Good Morning Kenya, we will host Dr. Kelly Oluoch, Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Medical Training College, as we discuss the college's contribution to universal healthcare in the country.
As an institution, we are the main training arm of the Ministry of Health, constituting 85% of human resources for health.
Join us as we delve into the remarkable journey of how KMTC has emerged as the primary contributor to our nation's health workforce. KMTC, training for better health.
Beberu hakutaka kutia sukuko mbele, hakutaka kufanya chochote, na kwa hivyo watu wakawa hawana nafasi.
Ijapokuwa watu wakisema kufundisha watoto watapata kazi wapi?
Our villages and towns are powered by electricity.
How has Kenya fared in the realization of her independence clarion call of eliminating ignorance, poverty and diseases? Kenya at 60, a special KBC coverage beginning Monday, the 4th of December to Jamhuri Day. Music can be magical. It's the soul for life and gives immense peace to us. It has a powerful therapeutic effect on the human psyche. Whether secular or gospel. There's a song for everyone, every occasion, and every emotion.
God bless you.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the Nairobi County Government says it is ready to host the second edition of the Nairobi Festival. According to the Nairobi County CCM Inclusivity and Customer Service, that is Dr. Anastasia Nyalita, over 300,000 people are expected to show up during the week-long event, kicking off from the 12th all the way to the 17th of this month. Now, a caravan dubbed Kipaji 47 has subsequently been flagged off on Tuesday at the Huru Park to scout for talent in the wards of these counties to showcase during the festivities that seeks to celebrate, among other, cultural diversity, creative arts and culture. The organizing committee says this year the festival will be bigger and better than last year's.
We have activities also going around in the city. We have the Youth Connekt. So we have a pass for the Youth Connekt. There are over 20,000 of them to come and also experience Nairobi at the National Park, at the Huru Park. We're asking everyone on the ground from any age to come and showcase. It's not just about performance arts, but it's any talent that you have that we are taking into account so that we can showcase it during the festival.
We are ready. I've heard you talking about the security. Security, it will be an experience. I can assure you. We have all the 4 major gates that lead into Uhuru Park that will be operational. Anyone who's coming, whether you're of 80, 70 years, or you're talking about an 80-year-old or a 70-year-old, we'll have something for you. We'll have the kiddie zone, we'll have the esports, we'll have the balloon. We tested the balloon with you guys here the other day. Yeah, so for the people who just thought that the balloon can only be seen or taken into the sky in the Mara, Nairobi is doing it for you for the first time in the city. You get your chance to come, enter the balloon, and then you can be able to just view the city from a bird's eye view perspective.
All there. If you have no itinerary from the 12th all the way to the 17th, mark your calendar. I know I have. Also, it was the proverbial 40th day for 4 suspected carjackers who were nabbed by police 3 days after they allegedly stole a vehicle at a car yard. The 4 are reported to have posed as buyers interested in purchasing a Prado vehicle before bundling 2 of the salesmen into the boot of the car and driving away. As fate will have it, their scheme was scuttled when the vehicle was involved in an accident, prompting them to flee on foot. Regina Manyara with the details of the attempted robbery that ended with them behind bars.
Friday morning in Ruiru, Kiambu County. It was reported 2 individuals posing as vehicle buyers had abducted 2 salesmen and stolen a Toyota Prado registration number KBS 775G.
Bonda operators who are part of the team that was pursuing them, they confirmed to us that these individuals are armed, and we have collected some cartridges which confirmed to us that they are really armed.
The suspected car thieves are reported to have demanded ransom to release the duo and the vehicle.
Once they called them, my colleague called Terry. She said that they will send the money, but let her continue finding because she didn't have the money then.
However, what was to be their payday would end up with them behind bars after they were arrested following a road accident at Kahawa Sukari area along the Thika Superhighway.
Mtu wa Uber ndiye alifuatana na hii watu after kumugogea gari. Nasikia walianza kusukumania hapa Roiro kwa petrol station ya Selo. Hapo ndio walianzana. Gari yenyewe Prado KBS 775G walikuwa wamejifanyia transfer. Hata sasa hii tumefanya search na GK, tunaona already gari imeingia kwao, imetoka kwa jina ya Ken.
The stolen vehicle was involved in an accident, forcing the suspected car thieves to flee the scene, leaving the salesman in the boot of the car.
After the accident, they ran away. Enough, we got the victims in the vehicle in the boot. The victims led us up to a hideout in Juja, whereby we have managed to arrest 4 kidnappers.
The police are searching for 3 of their accomplices, urging anyone with information to speak out.
We have come to learn that there are more than 4. 3 are still at a hideout. We are pursuing.
According to Ruiru Sub-County Police Commander Alex Shikondi, sleuths are also searching for the owner of the premises where the suspects aged between 27 and 33 years have been living. Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
And now beyond our borders, where President William Ruto says Kenya will tap into India's technology to enhance the economy and healthcare service delivery. The president, who is in a 2-day state visit to India, further said the 2 countries are keen on enhancing trade, investment, education, digital economy, healthcare, research, as well as agriculture, among other areas of cooperation between the 2 nations.
We are looking at how we can create partnership in the space of rural development, especially agriculture. We'll be looking at a space of how we can share in manufacture of vaccines, both for animal and human. We're looking at what we can do about genomics. We will be signing an agreement on also the digital space.
Let's come back here to the country, where the county government of Machakos is expressing concerns over the slow uptake of bursary funds reserved for persons with disability. According to the Youth, Sports, Gender and Social Welfare County Executive Committee member, that is John Kilonzo, the county government has set aside 80 million Kenya shillings to finance disabled persons, but so far only 700,000 Kenyan shillings have been absorbed. Now, he further revealed that data showed the number of disabled learners was higher than those who had applied for the bursaries. Jarita Mutinda, speaking on behalf of the disabled, called on the county government of Machakos County to create job opportunities and issue tenders for persons living with disability.
Last year we had 80 million shillings available for general funding of bursaries, but the uptake was not very good, so to speak. I think PWDs did almost 700,000 shillings, which is a bit low. So I'm encouraging them to come out and to start, partaking of these funds that are available from my excellency to be able to improve their welfare. We want to encourage the public, the neighbors, and also the local administration to help us in identifying and bringing out those kind of people, because it does not help to hide or to keep away a person who has disability when there's a lot of assistance that the county government can give.
Kama walemavu tunataka kuona 5% ya walemavu wameandikwa kwa county government. Na si ati walemavu wa aina moja. Walemavu, kuna walemavu wako na ulemavu wa ngozi, kuna walemavu hawasikii, kuna walemavu wako na ulemavu wa kutembea. Kwa hivyo tukuwe na different categories of people with disabilities in the county government and in the national government.
Welcome to the world of business. The government is planning to implement the soil management policy from early 2024 in a bid to enforce best practices in management of soil health and promote food security. PS for Crop Development and Research Dr. Paul Rono says the policy will also address the issue of fertilizer composition and application, which is one of the main causes of soil degradation.
As a ministry, going forward, we want to implement that policy so that next year we are able to report on progress on the implementation of the soil policy, which is already in place. We'll come up with various programs and intervention.
Yeah, our soils experience a number of challenges. There's a lot of acidity in majority of our soils. As you understand, the majority of the Kenyan land is arid and semi-arid. Close to 80% is non-productive lands.
Kenyans have been urged to repay their Hustler Fund loan on time to increase their borrowing limits. Speaking while handing over a three-wheeler motorcycle in a tuk-tuk operator in Mombasa by President William Ruto. Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Cabinet Secretary, that is Simon Chelugui, urged borrowers to utilize the credit facility to grow their businesses.
Hustler Fund has so far disbursed 39.5 billion shillings, with the 28 billion shillings paid back. To incentivize the fund, the government now says it will promptly increase the borrowing limit for those who pay the loan on time.
Wale ambao wanatumia pesa ya Hustler Fund, tuliwapatia, we gave you a challenge. Tukaanza na 500. Kila Mkenya alianza na 500. Kulingana na vile unaomba na kulipa, ndio maombi na ndio limit yako inaendelea kuongezeka.
Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui is urging borrowers to use the credit facility to expand their businesses as an efficient way to utilize the loan.
Nataka nyinyi wakaji wa Mombasa na Wakenya wote ambao wananisikia kwamba hii Hustler Fund ni asina serikali ilitoa ili tuwapunguzie gharama ya kuomba pesa. Hapo mbeleni tulikuwa tunaomba zaidi ya 1%, 2% ama 3% kwa siku, na hiyo ukijumulisha inafika 365 kwa mwaka. Hiyo gharama iko juu sana.
Chelugui was speaking during the handing over of a 3-wheeler motorcycle to a tuk-tuk operator in Mombasa County, who was gifted by President William Ruto for proper utilization of his Hustler loan.
Harrison sasa kwa muda wa mwaka moja amefika ile kiwango ya juu. Sasa Harrison akifinya simu yake anaweza kupata loan ya 50,000 na amefanya savings ya almost 37,000. Total borrowing ile alifanya mwaka uliopita ni zaidi ya 1,741 ila aliomba na akairudisha kwa wakati, hakuchelewa. Kwa hivyo mimi nampa pongezi.
The beneficiary, Harrison Karisa, urged his fellow operators and SMEs to make good use of the Hustler Fund to expand their startups.
Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto alivyoleta hii mambo na Hustler Fund. Hii Hustler Fund imesaidia kwa wale wanaofanya biashara ndogo ndogo, hususani mimi pia na watu jamii zingine. Kwa hiyo sasa Hustler Fund ni kitu ambayo inasaidia. Kwa hiyo msidanganywe kwamba kwa yani Hustler Fund ni kitu ambayo kwamba kifupi ni ya uongo. Hustler Fund ni ya ukweli. Kwa maana ukichukua unahakikisha kwamba unakopa pesa na kulipa, unakopa pesa na kulipa. Sasa ukiendelea kukopa pesa na kulipa ndo sasa pale ndo sasa upanda savings na mambo na limit huwa pale yaongezeka.
Now elsewhere, the East African Business Council EABC and the African Organization for Standardization ARSO have signed a memorandum of understanding to promote the adoption of international and regional standards by small and medium enterprises. EABC CEO John Bosco Kalisa says the MOU will create a collaborative framework that will reduce the cost of doing cross-border trade among SMEs in the East African region.
Total East Africa community trade increased by 13.4 to 11.3 trillion shillings in 2022 from 10 trillion shillings in 2021. The growth was attributed to admission of DR Congo into the EAC bloc and harmonization of trade initiatives and facilitation. The East Africa Business Council EABC says more needs to be done to promote the small and medium enterprises within the bloc to increase trade. The East Africa Business Council EABC and the Africa Organization for Standardization ARSO have signed a memorandum of understanding to promote the adoption of international and regional standards by small and medium enterprises.
The MOU outlines the following key areas of collaboration or cooperation: capacity building program, including training workshops, seminars and webinars on standards, conformity assessment procedures, policy harmonization for SMEs, particularly those in agribusiness, with a focus on women and youth from EAC partner states.
The MOU is set to prioritize capacity building programs and policy harmonization for SMEs, particularly those in agribusinesses. SMEs will be trained on the standardization and quality regulations to equip SMEs with crucial cross-border trade requirements.
The focus on SMEs is to see our SMEs now helped to understand that scientific content. How do we simplify this standard to the level of the SME to start applying the standards? In those areas, we develop outreach materials, the materials that are pictorial, that are self-explanatory, that these SMEs can start using.
Cotton lint buyers are required to pay at least 65 shillings per kilo, up from the current 52 shillings per kilo, in a new effort meant to grow production. Industry Principal Secretary, that is Dr. Juma Mukhwana, blames low cotton lint prices and challenges in accessing quality seed as some of the factors fueling a decline in the cotton production in the country.
These include increasing the farm gate prices from the current 52 shillings per kilo to at least 65 per kg.
Last year we were growing little cotton, about 5,000 acres. This year we have upgraded it to 40,000 acres. So we are growing cotton, a lot of cotton in Busia, in Siaya, in Kisumu, in Homa Bay, in Migori, in Bungoma. Baringo, in Elgeyo Marakwet, Mwingi, Machakos, Kwale, Kilifi, Tana River, even Lamu. And so this year we've taken it to 40,000 acres. And next year we are planning to take this to 100,000 acres so that we can go back to our cotton production.
He says Kenya currently produces 6,800 bales of cotton annually against a demand of 100,000 bales. These he blames on challenges in accessing quality seeds and low farm gate price, which is being addressed by settling the flour price. He says the measures are geared towards revamping the cotton value chain with the target of positioning it to create 1 million jobs by the year 2030.
One can only be grown here. And so there's no competition in terms of what we can grow. They need the clothes, but they can't make the cotton. We can grow the cotton. They have a bit of synthetic, and then we can work together with that.
The government plans to construct 3 ginneries in the counties of Homa Bay, Kwale and Lamu, which in addition to the 7 operational ginneries will bring the total operating ginneries in Kenya to 10. Frederick Mwoki for Lunchtime News.
Kenyans have been urged to embrace the use of traditional medicine to support those who have invested in traditional medicine businesses. Several entrepreneurs, financial institutions, SMEs, property and tech and national government agencies are taking part in a 3-day exhibition which is held at Rupas in Mali in Eldoret County.
So we at Harriet's Botanicals are very excited to participate in an expo at Rupas Mall in Eldoret. And we're excited because this is one of the communities that has been with us from the very beginning.
The last 2 years we planted 3 million indigenous tree seedlings, trees, and we want to grow them so that the sector of traditional medicine can expand, create employment.
And finally, let's get sporty. The triumphant national 3x3 women's basketball team has returned home from Cairo after winning the FIBA 3x3 African title in Egypt. The team defeated host Egypt 21-20 in the final match to boost their chances of qualifying for next year's Paris Olympics. The men's team, however, was eliminated in the quarterfinals after losing 17-19 to Nigeria. Host Egypt retained their men's title after piping Nigeria 18-15 in the final. And congratulations are in order. More than 40 countries have confirmed their participation in this year's Mombasa Open International Tong Ilmodo Championship, which gets underway at the coastal town on Friday next week. The national Tong Ilmodo team, Jasiri, has been training at the Light International School ahead of the event.
Check. Tong Ilmodo Federation Chairman Clarence Mwakio says Jasiri team has started residential training as they target to retain the title. Kenya is expected to field a pool of over 60 players who will compete in different categories during the world competition, which begins next week Friday at Aga Khan Academy, Mombasa, Kenya.
We are sharpening skills of the Tong Ilmodo Kenya national team, Jasiri, so that by the time we get to next week, ready for the international program, our team will be ready to compete next week, Saturday. Our spirits are very high, and we hope to retain the Mombasa Open Tong Ilmodo International Martial Arts Championship trophy.
Jasiri, who are 10-time defending champions, will be gearing up to defend their title after assembling a 50-member squad drawn from both men and women with different age categories. The team won the championship a successive 10 times after beating its close rival Philippines to second position. Kenya won a total of 185 medals, including 46 gold, 54 silver, and 85 bronze.
The national ladies cricket team has left the country for Uganda ahead of their crucial World Cup qualifier matches, which will be played at Kiambongo Cricket Grounds in Kampala from the 9th all the way to the 19th of this month. The top two teams from the event will qualify for the next year's World Cup.
Following their recent successful outing in Botswana, where they topped the chart and bagged the division trophy, the national ladies cricket team leaves the country to fight for a spot in the Cricket World Cup. Sports Cabinet Secretary Babu Namwamba, who flagged off the team, says he's optimistic that the current team will recover its lost glory by qualifying for the World Cup.
Kenya has done really well before. And you are now the generation that has the opportunity to get our country back to the high table of cricket. It will be incredible for you to qualify for the World Cup.
Kenya will qualify for the Ladies World Cup slated for next year should they finish in the top two from the Africa Zone qualifiers. Among the teams battling for the two slots include the hosts Uganda, Tanzania, Botswana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Rwanda.
Okay, thank you.
Elsewhere, Kibras Mashimoni All-Stars are the inaugural 82nd Ultimate Cup Tournament champions following their 4-3 triumph on post-match penalties over Dandora Youth at the Police Sacco Stadium. The champions took home 1 million Kenya shillings, with the first runners-up getting a consolation prize of $500,000 shillings.
And of course, the English Premier League returns this week. We do know that Arsenal are set to take on Luton in Kenilworth Road Stadium, as well as Wolves are expected to take on Burnley after their 5-0 impressive win against a relegation side, that is Sheffield United. But I need to take you back to the main news, where Kiambu Governor, that is Kimani Wamatangi, has assured the people with disabilities that his administration will ensure their rights are protected even in employment. The governor said PWDs who are qualified will be considered in the county government jobs. Governor Wamatangi assured the group that